A cold wind swept through the bustling city streets as people hurried along, wrapped in their thick coats and scarves. The sidewalks were crowded with busy workers, rushing to their jobs, barely noticing anything beyond their own concerns. Among them sat an old beggar, huddled near a lamppost, his frail hands clutching a torn blanket. His eyes, though tired, still carried a spark of hope. Every day he sat in the same spot, a rusted tin can in front of him, hoping for a few coins. Some people spared him change out of habit, others ignored him completely, and a few even scowled, judging him for his condition. He never spoke much, just a polite nod or a quiet thank you to those who showed kindness. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, a well-dressed businessman named Daniel walked past the beggar. Unlike others, he stopped. He looked down at the old man, who lifted his gaze cautiously. "How long have you been sitting here?" Daniel asked. The beggar gave a small, tired smile. "A long time, sir, longer than I remember." Daniel studied the man's worn-out clothes and weathered face. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a crisp $50 bill. The beggar's eyes widened, but he hesitated before taking it. "Why are you giving me so much?" he asked. Daniel shrugged. "I don't know, maybe I just want to help." The beggar took the money, his hands trembling. "Thank you," he whispered. The next day, Daniel passed by again. To his surprise, the beggar was still there, but his tin can remained empty. "Did you not use the money?" Daniel asked, confused. The beggar smiled. "I did, but not for myself." Daniel raised an eyebrow. "Then what did you do with it?" The old man sighed, looking at the people walking by. "There's a woman on the next street with 2 children. She's struggling to feed them. I bought them a warm meal." Daniel was stunned. "You had nothing, yet you gave away what little you received." The beggar chuckled. "Happiness isn't about how much you have, it's about how much you give." Daniel didn't know how to respond. He was a man of success, someone who had worked tirelessly for his wealth. Yet standing before him was a man who owned nothing, but still found a way to be generous. Curious, Daniel sat down next to the beggar. "Tell me your story," he said. The old man's eyes softened. "I wasn't always a beggar," he began. "I once had a business, a home, and a family, but I made mistakes, selfish choices, greed, and arrogance. I lost everything. When I had wealth, I never thought to help others. When I had nothing, I realized the true value of kindness." Daniel listened intently, feeling a strange sense of shame. He had spent years chasing success, believing wealth defined a person. But here was a man who had lost it all, yet had found a deeper understanding of life. As the night grew colder, Daniel stood up. "Would you like a second chance?" he asked. The beggar tilted his head. "A second chance?" Daniel nodded. "I run a company. If you're willing to work, I can offer you a job." Tears welled in the old man's eyes. "Why would you do that for me?" Daniel smiled. "Because you reminded me of something important. Kindness isn't just about giving money, it's about believing in people." The next morning, the beggar walked into Daniel's office, wearing clothes Daniel had given him. He started as a janitor, but his dedication and wisdom soon earned him a better position. Months passed and the old man, once invisible to the world, was now an important part of the company. One evening, he sat in his small but warm apartment, staring at a $1 bill he had saved from his begging days. It was a reminder, not of poverty, but of the moment his life changed because someone chose to believe in him. And so he too made a promise. Whenever he could, he would help others, just as Daniel had helped him. Because true wealth was never in how much money one had, it was in how much good one could do. Moral of the story. True wealth is not measured by money, but by the kindness and generosity we show to others. A single act of compassion can change someone's life forever.